Hello, fellow gardeners and friends. It is time for an update on the strawberry garden from your favorite gardener, Urban Gardening with Gray. So far, we've been getting daily harvest off of our berries. Now, I know many of you know that here at Urban Garden with Gray, we like to plant everbearing strawberries. So today, I want to talk a little bit about why I choose everbearing strawberries over the different cultivars that exist out there. I know many of you might think, hey, wouldn't you like to go with like a June bear, which gives you a better, a bigger berry? Yeah, no, I'm still gonna lean on heavily onto the everbearing strawberries because of one main key factor. And make sure you watch the full video so you can know all the benefits about growing strawberries in your own backyard or in small spaces. But first and foremost, before we go on, I want to make sure that you know that I am a grower specifically in North Texas, Zone 8B. So before you try to implement some of my care strategies and my growing strategies for growing strawberries, just do take in consideration my microclimate might be different from yours. So without much further ado, let's talk about growing strawberries and why I specifically love to grow everbearing strawberries. So if you haven't started growing strawberries yet, or you're thinking about maybe contemplating growing strawberries in your garden, I am making an official campaign. And yes, I endorse this message for you to grow in your home garden everbearing strawberries. Reason being is that everbearing strawberries, the main reason I grow them so much is because of the extended harvest season. Everbearing strawberries produce fruit over a longer period of time compared to like your June bearing or your day neutral strawberry varieties. They typically bear berries from early summer throughout the fall. And yes, I've been getting them here in the spring as well. And so that's my main reason for growing them. I can have continuous harvest, like honestly, daily. But now, the reason why I say daily, as you can see from many of my previous videos and this video as well, is that I'm constantly, no, yes, I'm constantly harvesting. But the fact that I have about five, I think, different strawberry patches that I'm constantly going through. And plus, I have a 5-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter, and there's no joy better for them than going out to the strawberry patch and picking their own strawberries, rinsing them off, and eating them straight from the garden. I mean, what's not better than that? I mean, and that's a memory that my kids will keep with them forever. Having spring, summer, and early fall strawberries that they can pick right out of what my son Gregory calls his grocery store garden. I mean, and not to mention they built their own raised bed garden that we have dubbed the fairy garden. So that's why I love everbearing strawberries. And then plus, I know some people say, well, hey, everbearing strawberries, your strawberries, they're so small, they're tiny. June bearers are bigger. That is very true. I will agree with you. But June bearers only produce like one time a year. And yeah, you get a big harvest and you get the one berry and it's huge and it's massive. And that's great. But the everbearings taste better. They're small, but they're packed with flavor. Now, of course, that is my opinion. Some of you might say that June bearers are better, and more power to you. But over here at Urban Garden with Gray, we're doing all of the everbearings. Now, yes, you get the extended harvest season, but you also get a continuous production out of it because the everbearing strawberries, like I said, they're producing multiple times a year, and you get multiple berries out throughout that season too. Now, granted, yes, again, they're small, and you do have to harvest them a lot. I mean, because you want to get them before the birds and the squirrels may get them. But I don't mind going out to my strawberry patch and picking multiple berries because yes, if I was growing on a massive like 2-3 acre farm, then okay, yeah, maybe it might get a little old going out getting the everbearings. But that's not what this video is for. This is not a farming video. My channel is not a farming channel. I will never claim to be a farmer. I am a gardener, and this is for growing in small spaces. So, say for instance, you're growing in an apartment complex and you're growing right on your patio out on or your windowsill. Everbearing strawberries might be the right option. So, now let's talk about versatility when it comes to growing conditions because the everbearing strawberry exceeds many other varieties easily because it can grow in some of the harshest conditions. They tend to tolerate heat and cold better, making them a good option for gardeners in various regions. For instance, a lot of the growers here in Texas, and I've heard these comments before on Facebook, that, oh, in the state of Texas, strawberries are kind of like an annual because they can't tolerate our heat. Well, my everbearing strawberries, I have had my oldest patch for about 3 seasons now, and it tolerates the heat just fine. Seem like I'm just, the best grower in the world and I haven't lost any plants. No, I did lose a couple last season. I mean, we were in the middle of like an intense heat wave. I mean, climate change is real. And I think one of the highest was like 119 or something that we got up here in North Texas. It was unbearable. So I did lose about 3 plants. But for the most part, most of my everbearing strawberries did just fine out in this crazy Texas heat. Another thing I want to talk about is about the plant size. Everbearing strawberries are generally more compact and lower growing compared to like your June bearing cultivars. This makes them well suited for like containers, small gardens, and high density uh, planting arrangements. So, for instance, in my garden, I have accidentally planted some lettuce in one of my boxes with my strawberries. I have marigolds, I have strawberries, and I've actually have some lettuce growing outside of that box as well. I didn't intend on it. They were kind of volunteer lettuce. I have a couple of I can't remember the cultivars of lettuce that I have in it. I know I have some red lettuce in there, and red lettuce. Ugh. I know it's super nutritious for you, but it does not taste good by itself. You need to mix it up with some other lettuces and maybe some spinaches if you're going to be eating red lettuce. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, with the plant size of the everbearing strawberry not being too tall, not being a real tall grower, it's fine for as far as aeration goes throughout the plants because even though they're kind of in a compact space, they grow just fine. And I've also been growing some in containers when I ended up getting too many bare root strawberries and all of the runners that I like to propagate. I have a lot of strawberries, but because they grow so well in containers, it's not a problem because as a gardener, as many of you know, we keep containers. So we recycle those containers and we put the strawberries in them and keep on going. Now, one thing I will say, when you are putting strawberries in containers, I've actually seen a lot of videos of people putting strawberries in small containers. And personal preference, I say you want to go at least a gallon size as far as the size of your strawberry container, because especially with the everbearings, remember, plants, 50% of plant growth happens underneath the soil. And you run the risk, especially if you're going to have your everbearers be a perennial and come back every year, you want to make sure you have enough room for those roots to really stretch out and get themselves well established. So I don't plant my strawberries in anything less than a 1 gallon container because I want those roots to really develop on the plant. This key point that I'm going to mention for the everbearing strawberries is that it has reduced maintenance, meaning I don't have to go in and fertilize my everbearers as much as I would if I was growing like a All-Star or Fort Laramie, some of those June bearers, because since I'm getting strawberries throughout the season, I have a maintenance schedule that I follow for my strawberries. Um, and I don't really have to go in and cultivate the soil as much to allow them to be able to produce. So you get reduced maintenance with the strawberries. Honestly, like once I have, fertilized in the spring, I kind of leave them alone and let them do their thing. Plus the fact that I do a lot of companion planting with all of my strawberries, they're doing a lot of that maintenance for me as well. So at the end of the day, I really think that Everbearing Strawberries for the win. Now, if you disagree, if you like a different cultivar or strawberry, why don't you leave me a comment in the comment section and tell me why you think your cultivar of strawberry is better? I would like to hear from you. I always love that back and forth that we have. So let me know what you're thinking when you, what strawberry cultivar you prefer. All right. Well, that's it for us here at Urban Gardening with Gray. It's been a pleasure talking with you about strawberries. I can talk about plants all day, every day, any day. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and then, like I said, leave me a line, leave me a comment in the comments. I do love hearing from you. But this has been Urban Gardening with Gray. Make sure you enjoy life, enjoy family, and enjoy your garden. Thanks, guys.